Hello, everybody. This is Kathy, the Baldwarrior. If you have not seen me before, I am an author, international speaker, transformative coach, and management accountant. And so far on the Own Your Shit Friday show, I have interviewed people. But tonight, I want to bring you a very special episode where I'm talking about just me. And why? Well, I am here in Auckland, New Zealand, and I am here for a very special reason. Hi, Chris. Thanks for jumping on. Great to have you with me. If you don't know out there, Chris is my son, my inspiration, and my rock. And he has been my biggest supporter throughout my Baldwarrior journey. And I feel privileged and honored to have him walk beside me and always be there for me, no matter how I feel or what I'm doing. Chris has always been my greatest supporter, and I'm so grateful for that. Tonight, I want to talk to you about what I am doing here in New Zealand. And New Zealand, if you don't know, guys, is actually my homeland. I was born in Dunedin on the South Island of New Zealand, and at 7 years old was moved to Australia with my family because my father had got work in Port Hedland, which is a mining town in northwestern Australia. And so I was taken from a giant family unit in New Zealand to Port Hedland in Australia, where we pretty much had nobody there except my dad's cousins. And while that was a huge culture shock, I do believe it was part of my journey of learning and probably part of my mother's and my sister's journey of learning too. And in fact, my sister still lives in Port Hedland and is on the town council. And I'm so proud of her for what she has done to make that town better for her, her family, and for all the families that live there. And I have lived there myself for a couple of stints. And in fact, Chris ended up going to high school there, the same as I did when I was his age. And it presented many, many challenges to him and to me, but made us both much stronger and wiser. And so I'm grateful for that. But back to New Zealand and what I'm doing here. I've come to Auckland to attend an amazing training. And it is from Sarah Devereaux from Coach Masters Australia. And she has spent the last 4 days teaching us about transformative coaching. And I have to say that it is the most amazing learning I've ever done. It has blown me away. The techniques and the results that these techniques bring about are absolutely astounding. And I came with no real expectations except that as a coach, I wanted to be more effective for you guys, for my tribe and the people that look to me for help and inspiration and guidance. And so I thought that I would come and do this coaching training so that I could be a better coach and mentor to you all. And what I have learnt over the last 4 days has absolutely blown my mind. It has been the most amazing 4 days I think I've ever spent. The learning style of the guys at CMA has also been mind-blowing. And what has now cemented into me and will continue to cement into me over the next 10 weeks as we do our coaching journey has been that, one, coaching is not like mentoring, teaching, consulting, counseling, or any of those other areas. Coaching is all about looking forward and helping your client to find their path forward. So we don't look back. We don't rehash the past. We don't get into healing or into old stories. What we do is we focus on the future, and we focus on what you want to happen in your future. And this training has given me the framework and the grounding to be able to help you do that. And it is such an amazing coaching technique. I cannot tell you enough how floored I have been from the results in just our training days. We have been coaching each other and have already had amazing results in helping each other. And we're still just, practicing these brand new techniques on each other. So I am so excited to bring this coaching style out to you guys, my tribe, my people, to help you overcome the blocks and the struggles that you're having in your life. And I have seen from the work we have done in the last few days how it can actually help you find your own answers within yourself. And so my job as your coach is not to give you the answers, but in fact to help you find the answers within yourself. And I know that that sounds crazy, and it sounds like it's not doable, and maybe it sounds like it's a bit airy-fairy, but I can tell you with confidence that these techniques absolutely work. And just today, I did a coaching session with a lady in my group, and was talking to her about her children and the fears she had for her children, and how she wanted them to grow up, and how she wanted them to have inner happiness. And that actually connected back to her and her lifestyle and how she was living. And she came up with her own answers on how to change her path and change her everyday actions to enable that change in her children. And it was just so amazing that within half an hour, what she thought was the issue transformed into something much deeper. And I was able to help her bring out her own answers to how she was going to deal with it, and how she was going to move forward, and how she was going to achieve those things she wanted to without my ideas or solutions. I was just there to help her bring her own ideas and solutions out of herself. And as amazing as this sounds, it really, really works. And I'm really, really excited to bring this skill and these techniques to you guys, because they really are transformational. They really do make a difference. And, I, as part of this whole journey, have also been coached myself by my fellow group members in the course. And I have also had epiphanies about several things in my life when I thought I had my shit together and I had it all going on and I knew my answers. And it turns out that there are underlying issues that you don't realize you have until someone helps you just sit and reflect and talk about what is going on and help you reach the root of the issue, which is often not clear to us. And so I'm really, really excited to show you guys this technique and these, these tools that I've learned now over the last week to help you guys also have these breakthroughs and this transformational learning that I myself have had. And so I've just posted, and I'll repeat again here. I'm going to give away 10 sessions of coaching to anybody out there who wants it. I don't care who you are, where you are, or what you need. It doesn't matter. I'm giving away 10 sessions. So all you need to do to get one of those sessions is comment down below, yes, I want a coaching session, and I will hit you up in Messenger and we will schedule it. And all I want from you in return is your feedback on whether it helped you and how you're going to move forward in your life. And I cannot explain to you how excited I am about this. You know, I have spent my life trying to overcome self-sabotaging behaviors, self-limiting beliefs, some really, really deep-seated fears, and some self-worth issues I've had from childhood. And thank you, Chris. You're in, babe. I'm absolutely up for giving you a coaching session. So number 1 is taken. There are 9 left, people. You know, I have struggled with so many things my whole life. And if you've been watching me for a while, you'll know the struggles that I've been through and the why behind me wanting to help you. And it's a very genuine why. I spent so many years hiding myself and buckling to the pressure of society and society's norms because I didn't fit in. I didn't feel like everybody else. And so I hid myself. For 30 years, I hid under a wig or a scarf, and I pretended to be like everybody else. And it wasn't until I hit nearly 40 that I realized all I was doing by trying to be something I wasn't was ending in me being miserable and feeling like I was carrying this giant secret around that added so much pressure to my life that I limited my life. I limited what I would go out and do for fear of discovery, for fear of being shown to be a fraud and to be not true to who I am. And I think that in our own way, we all do that because of societal pressures and societal norms. I think that in some way we all try to conform, and that really means that we're not being true to ourselves. Hi, Antoinette. Thanks for jumping on, babe. Lovely to have you here. And it's in fact quite amazing that you joined me, because my coaching session that I did this afternoon as practice in our training with the beautiful Katrina, we talked about my dog Boof. Now, my dog Boof is 9 years old. He is the dog of our dog that Chris and I had, Chloe. He's one of the puppies. And Boof is now 9 years old. And so he's been with me for a really long time. Now, I'm moving house to a place where it's not entirely suitable for a large dog. And as part of that, I've had to make the very hard decision to find a new family for him to go to. And Antoinette and her beautiful, wonderful children have been the ones that I have chosen to have Boof as their dog. And I have spent a few weekends at Antoinette's house integrating Boof into the family and making sure that he loves them, which he does without a doubt, making sure that they love him, which they do without a doubt. And I'm very comfortable with giving Antoinette and her children my dog, because I know that he will be happy there, he will be loved there, he will be played with, and he won't be bored like he was with me every day. And so to call it a silver lining in a cloud, although I am going to miss Boof a lot, this is a really, really good family for him to go to. And while that warms my heart and makes the decision much easier to make, what I found out today in my coaching session is that both represents safety and security to me. So I have had Boof in my life for 9 years. And let's just say that that's pretty much twice as long as my last marriage. So my dog has been a constant presence, a very reassuring presence. Now, he's a German Shepherd cross, so he's a big dog. He's a very reassuring presence because he has this amazing ability to detect anybody near your property, and he will bark and he will alert you to the fact that somebody is nearby. And he has this ability to do that, and therefore you always know when someone is close, and therefore you feel safe, because if he's not barking, you know that there's nobody around. And so if you can understand my thought pattern, that gave me a sense of safety and security. And that was important to me because I have been in more than one relationship that made me feel unsafe. And so having my big dog, a presence that was constant over 9 years, there's only been one period in that whole 9 years where he didn't live with me for about 6 months. He lived with my son Christopher instead. But apart from that, Wolf has been with me every single day, and he's been this reassuring presence for me. And I'm so glad to hear he's having fun at your house, Antoinette. I know he would. I knew he would. I knew as soon as I introduced him to your children that he would be fine, because they have such love for him, that I knew he would be okay. But this, of course, is about me and not about Wolf, as it usually is, right? So Wolf has been the security blanket for me, I guess, all this time. And so when I started talking to my coach about giving Wolf up and rehoming him, and how I was going to miss him, and how I talked to him every single day, Wolf has been like my sounding board and my safety blanket, because I can tell him anything I want and he has no judgment. And I know that I am safe there with him because he always tells me when somebody else is close. And whether that's a good or a bad, it doesn't matter. I know if somebody is close, and that's an awareness that people don't usually have on their own. That's usually something a dog gives you. And so it was a really interesting session for me, because it started with me just being sad. I was giving my dog of 9 years away to somebody else, but it ended up in me realizing that Wolf was actually a safety net for me. He was actually a feeling of safety for me. He was actually a security for me. And that comes from the need for me to have the safety and security, because years and years ago, I was in a relationship where I was not safe. I was not safe at all for 2 years. And that takes a toll on a person's mind, not feeling safe. You feel constantly on edge. And constantly aware that anything might happen at any second. And I guess that's why I initially got a big dog, was to add that security and safety to my life. And we first did that when we moved to Port Hedland. Christopher would have been around 12. And we moved to a town where there was a big possibility of being robbed or invaded because of the nature of the town and the nature of the people in it. And so I made this decision to get this big dog in order to help me feel safe. And we've had dogs before, but not really the same scenario. Before, the dogs had just been pets. But this time, getting this dog was for a purpose. And it was very much joined with where we were living and the need for me to make sure that I felt safe. Because I never wanted to live in fear again. I never wanted to not feel that security again, because it had made such an impact on me when I did live in fear. And that is not a way I wanted to live again. And so the dog that we got was a purebred German Shepherd. Her name was Chloe, and Boof is actually one of Chloe's puppies. So Chloe was about 2 or 3, I think, when she had the puppies. And Boof was the biggest puppy. He, in fact, got his name Boofhead because he had the biggest head out of the 9 puppies that survived. And we ended up keeping him. And he's a beautiful mix of German Shepherd and Mastiff. He's a beautiful sand color, almost a ranger, but not quite, more blonde. He looks like a German Shepherd, but he has this whole sandy color. I'll chuck a photo up later so you can see him. And he has the most beautiful demeanor and personality about him. And he's an excellent guard dog. So while we still had both of them, Boof and Chloe, Chloe taught Boof to be a guard dog. She taught him many, many things that a male dog should know. And when we left that town and moved away, I rehomed the mother, Chloe, to a family that had property and another dog and children, so that Chloe would have a good home. And I made the decision to just keep Boof. And in fact, around that same time, Christopher moved to Perth, and I sent Boof with him. While I actually moved to Queensland with my new partner, who I ended up marrying. And so Christopher had Boof, and my cat, actually, Pepper. They are the same age. Pepper and Boof grew up together and are both 9. So Pepper and Boof went to Chris. I went over to Queensland, and I think it was about 6 months or so, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, that I sent for them. And I brought them to Queensland, to where I was. And I noticed in that 6 months of not having Boof and Pepper with me that I felt a bit bereft. You know, I really felt their absence, because apart from Chris, they were my kids. They'd been with me so long and were so much a part of my life. And I'm sure a lot of you guys out there will relate to your animals being part of your family. And when they finally came over and the pet people that had transported them dropped them off, it was quite a joyous day for me. And both of them were quite ecstatic as well to be reunited with me. It was quite beautiful. And immediately I felt that sense of security again from having Boof with me. Being quite a large dog and having a very robust bark and being very aware of what was around us, he was always an amazing guard dog. And for me, dogs are a guard animal. Their first job is to protect you and to tell you if anything is wrong around your perimeter or your property. And so it was a real comfort for me to have them with me again. And so in the years since then, they have been with me all the time. And I've since moved from Queensland back to Western Australia, and I've brought the animals with me. And it's been an amazing experience. My cat, Pepper, hates to travel, absolutely loathes it. But Boof is really cool. He's really calm about it. He doesn't care As long as somebody loves him, Boof is happy. And although I know he's going to miss me, I know he's absolutely delighted with Antoinette and her kids and the love that they are going to give him. And so I started talking about Boof and this story because I wanted you to understand the connection that I have with him. And one of my epiphanies today in my coaching was that Boof wasn't just a pet to me, he actually represents safety to me. And so that was a big deal to realize that, because I've been in violent and toxic relationships, and in between that, I've been on my own. And when I say on my own, I mean as a single mother with Chris. So, you know, we very rarely had a male presence in our house. It was always us. And I guess I was the male presence, my masculine side. I was the dad and the mom. And having that dog there gave me this sense of security that I don't know that I would have had without him. And so the thought of now giving my dog to another family is going to leave me without that sense of security. And that is what the coaching session really brought up for me. And that was actually a surprise to me. I didn't know that was inside me. And that's just an example of how amazing this coaching method is that it doesn't give you the answers like a traditional coach would. Like a traditional coach would say, well, show me your problems and let's hear them, let's talk about them, and then let's give you some steps to move on and find a solution for you. But in this style of coaching that I've just learned, it's not me that gives you the answers or provides any solutions. My role is to help you find those solutions within yourself. And those breakthroughs and aha moments, they'll come from you. And my job is just to help you discover them and bring them about. And I have been absolutely amazed at the techniques and the tools that we've been taught this week that actually work, guys. Like, that actually bring these results that you aren't expecting. It absolutely floored me. How amazing what we uncovered was, and how much you have inside yourself that you don't realize. You actually have all the answers within yourself, even though you don't know you do. You do. I promise you, you have everything you need inside yourself. And so my job is just to help you discover that and bring it out and help you realize what you need to do to make that transformation for yourself. And I'm so excited about what I've learned. I have seen the proof of how quickly it works. Within 40 minutes, people are having these giant aha moments and these breakthroughs that are changing their lives because they just didn't know it was inside them. And so what I want to do, guys, is I want to reach out to you and give you some of that value. As part of my training, I need to do 100 coaching hours. Now, most of those hours are paid hours, but I have a window. I have a window where I have some free hours to give to 10 people. So 10 hours of coaching I can give to you at no charge. All you are going to get is pure value, and you do not have to pay me a cent. Now, Christopher has taken up the first one. So I have 9 more sessions. All you have to do to grab one of them is tell me in the comments that you want one of these sessions. And Antoinette, you are second off the rank. If you want one, say yes right now, because you completely deserve it for taking such beautiful care of my amazing Boof. And anybody else who wants in on some transformational learning where I help you bring your answers out of you, comment down below, yes, I want a session, and I will message you personally to book you in. So this is a one-time only offer, guys. This is open on the table for the next 24 hours. It disappears tomorrow night. It is a one-time only. I am absolutely positive that these spots are going to be taken up as fast as I offer them, because the impact that they have on your life is just so amazing that you'd be crazy not to say yes for nothing. So really, I just wanted to share this journey with you tonight. Instead of having a guest on, I really wanted to share with you what I have been learning myself in order to be a better coach and a better mentor for you guys out there, my tribe, my people. I wanted to share how much I have learned, how much I have grown personally, and how confident I am that I can help you guys change your lives. And you'll be shocked at how fast it can happen. So comment below if you'd like a session. Show me some love. And if you think you know somebody who could do with this value, please just tag them in so they watch this. Now, I try to keep every show to half an hour or less, and we've just hit 31 minutes and 40 seconds. So I'm going to sign off now, and I thank you all very much for your time in watching this. I do ask that you share this with your family and friends. I ask that you show me some love, and please come and join the Baldwarrior page. Follow my journey. Come and join my group, Dream Life Believers. That is where the transformation really happens. I deliver value into my Dream Life Believers group that you cannot see anywhere else on the internet. And let me help you help yourselves. That's it from me tonight. I'm Kathy Tate, the Baldwarrior, author, international speaker, transformational coach, and management accountant. And I can't wait to help you transform your life from stuck and struggling to your dreams and the best version of you that you can be. Stay tuned. I'll have another show next Friday where I interview another amazing, amazing woman and show you how she has transformed her life from self-sabotage and stuck to living her best life and working towards her dreams. Thank you for watching. Baldwarrior out from Auckland, New Zealand, and next week I'll be back in Perth, Australia. See you soon.